Thank you, Leanne. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
We have a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk.
If you would choose to. Right, we'll move on to the roll call. George, I'm sure will be
I
here
think
soon.
this is George.
This is George.
There he is.
And we're on the public. Oh, we'll do the minutes. So minutes were distributed by Jerry. Thank you very much. And I'll take a motion to. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Paul. Comments?
I didn't see in the minutes, and I don't know if the question came up. Did we get an approximate idea of what the old fire truck is worth if we either sell it or trade it?
The old one?
Yes, the one is 29 years old. The ladder truck.
No, but they don't go for anything. I think the last one we sold for like 7,000.
I don't,
or something.
oh, yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
it's just like they're collecting, like, people wanna like drive them around their town or something. They're like worth $5,000.
Right.
But it seems like they should be worth a lot more, they're not.
Yeah, we think that's right. Rural town that.
They're probably worth more melted down than they are on wheels. For, you know, but, well, we put the last one out to bid and I mean, they bring in nothing.
The other question I had was, did I read that they did $500,000 worth of repairs in the last 2 years?
I don't remember what he
I
put.
don't know if it was
Yeah, I don't know.
$500,000. I think he said that he's starting to put a lot of money into repairs.
They wouldn't have spent 500,000 on that truck, definitely not.
I just thought if they spent
He
500,000.
probably said it will require that. To refurbish or to get it where it needs to be. And if we're gonna spend 1.5, you know, it's not worth it to spend 500, certainly, probably.
Well, I just want a couple of comments. One, I mean, amazing summary by Jerry on the fire chief's report, but that's just a great summary, but then in the first paragraph, it's at $50,000 with big last week.
Okay, 50. I had it at 0.
Good. Okay, any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? We are on to public comment. We have no public in the room. We have no public online, so we will keep moving. Capital non-recurring appropriation, yeah.
So this is the last piece of business for fiscal year 25. We had at the public meeting that was held, town meeting that was held September 9th, all of the recommendations from the Board of Finance were approved, including 2.7 million for projects relating to the town and almost 550,000 for projects related to the Board of Ed. We did hold back 270,000 worth of surplus to make sure that next year our rainy day fund remains at 17%. So what is left over is a surplus balance of 333,716, and this motion is just to recommend to put that to capital non-recurring for future use. And George, I did leave you the trend of
Thank you.
capital
Thank you very much. Appreciate
non-recurring
that.
balances at a point in time, just as an FYI. And so this, as I said, is the last piece of business for fiscal year 25.
Okay, so why don't I make the motion and then we can have discussion. Motions to appropriate $333,716 from fiscal year 2025 surplus, transfer those monies to the capital non-recurring fund 3350 and further move this motion to town meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, what discussion do we have? Questions?
Just have a quick question.
Sure.
This is the 1.9 million in that account. That's prior to this going in, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Alright.
Any opposed? Madam Treasurer.
Good. Very good. All right, so we will go to our executive summary, that was August 31, 2025 for fiscal year 2026. So fiscal year to date, the town has received revenue of 29,242,493, or 55.3% of the total amount budgeted, 52,843,405 for fiscal year 26. When comparing our performance to last fiscal year, we are 0.3% behind this time last year. Next, we'll move down to the authorized investment section. At the end of August, the town had 51.6 million in its bank accounts. And in the last month, the stiff rate is still staying very steady at 4.49%. Today, it's at 4.43%. And Webster, as you know, gives us the stiff rate in arrears, so they were up a little higher at 4.50% last month. Any questions there? Okay, so then the pension plan. At the end of August, we received our report from Morgan Stanley. The town pension plan is up 2.56% fiscal year to date versus its benchmark of 2.93%. Over the 3-year horizon, the town plan has returned 10.34% versus its benchmark of 12.18%. The fire department pension plan is up 2.49% fiscal year to date and has returned 10.12% over the 3-year horizon versus its benchmark of 12.18%. And the pension board will resume its meetings the end of September. We take a summer break, July and August, so we'll meet on September 25th again. Okay, any questions there?
You may continue.
All right, so as of August 31, we had total cash balances of 51.6 million, total pension balances of 32.3 million, for total assets under management of 83.9 million. So next, we'll move to page 2 of the treasurer's report. Tax revenues were 2,450,702, or 56.1% of the amount budgeted for fiscal year 26. In terms of local revenues, the town collected $412,634 locally, or $3,030,555 in local revenues, for the total of $29,242,493. So we received $729 in LoSup money from the state and $166,491 from Town Aid Road State Grant Program.
The 729, we got a notice that we had that coming to us. We just needed to submit the remainder of our project, and so that's why it's that.
Such a tiny little stuff. Okay.
But we
Thank
got
you
all
for
our money.
that. So interest and dividend income for August was 155,484. We had a miscellaneous revenue of $47,735, which was a dividend check from PERMA, our insurance company. So we receive that once a year, and that is consistent with what we have been receiving in prior years.
Well, I'm chairman of the board of PERMA. We don't receive it. It's not a guaranteed amount every year. It's a member equity distribution. In fact, in the previous fiscal year, there was no equity distribution.
Okay.
So it's based on the financial results of PERMA, which is an insurance company, and they've not distributed in like 2 of the last 12 years. And then in the other 10 years, they've distributed anywhere from $3 to $5 million. And it's, you have to remain in PERMA, you have to be a member in good standing, all those things. So
Is it kind of like a dividend? considered
Yes.
almost like, yeah,
Well,
And is
it's an
it-
equity distribution
equity distribution.
based on the performance of.
Okay.
funds.
And is the distribution based on population?
I don't know if it's based on premium
I think it's your premium.
or population, I'm not sure, it might be more based on premium
Yeah.
paid.
And when we budgeted 45,000, were we budgeting in anticipation of this, or was that 45,000 for other things that we thought we might get?
We don't.
Well, yeah, we take into consideration that we might get that every year, but it could be anything.
So there may be
But
other
if we don't
miscellaneous
get it,
revenue.
there will be other miscellaneous revenues, and if we weren't to get a distribution, we probably wouldn't make our budget as closely as we have.
Right, okay,
Okay. And then all I've really got is Harvey's Beach last month took in $51,232. And they've exceeded their budget already this year. They're 134% at their budget level. They're exceeded it by 34% basically for fiscal year 26. So they are jamming. That's all I've got. Anybody have any questions?
On Harvey's Beach, is that, actual stickers or is that out of town?
I don't know, but Harvey's Beach people pay to come in, so.
Yeah,
It's out of town and.
Yeah, but don't we have a fee like $20 if you're not a town member?
You know,
There's beach passes and there's Harvey's Beach, so they're two separate things.
Yeah, so Harvey's Beach is typically, visitors, and it's like 25 for the day. I don't even know if there is a season pass for Harvey's Beach, I'm not sure, but if,
There's not.
There is for
Well, if
town
you're a
people.
season, if you're a town pass
Yeah.
owner, you could just drive
Yeah.
into Harvey's Beach. Yeah.
Right.
So what I was curious about is how much the revenue you get from out of town people.
a lot.
all of that.
you would say
That
probably
is it.
90% of that's from out of town, because everybody else would buy a beach pass.
Right.
So if it's 45,000 and you charge $20,
I don't know, it's probably 25 a day, it's at least 25 a day.
Yeah.
But I forgot. Ray, we can get a breakdown from Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then what about the the passes for the people in town?
That's the line before, so the
Right.
beach passes
Yeah,
for the
that's the
town
line
is
before it.
budgeted 45,000, and then the Harvey's Beach is the income brought in.
Right.
By the beach passes.
The beach
So-
pass goes higher later in the year. Not now, no.
With later supplements.
Right.
So how much is that per pass?
I think it's $20.
It's,
I'm not
yeah, I mean, they have a
sure.
senior rate too. I think it's $30, but if you're over a certain age, it's $20. Then you get it, you buy two, you get a discount.
No, I think it's one for the second one.
There's no discount,
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
No discount for the two?
yeah.
Oh, I thought there was. We always buy two. I thought there was. Okay. I don't know. My husband pays for it. I make him do it.
My wife pays for
Let's continue. Treasurer, anything else?
No, it's a very simplistic August report.
Very good. Questions for treasurer? All set. Thank you very much. We'll move
Thank
on to
you.
the finance director's report.
All right, good evening, everyone. So far this year, we've spent, 12.4 million, 23% of our budget. Just noteworthy there is that, for our bonding, we've spent 91% of our budget for bonds, because in July and August, we pay the majority of our debt outstanding. We structure it that way on purpose because taxes are coming in. We have the cash flow. We will have a couple of small payments, in, January and February that will round up the year, that we pay our bonds every 6 months. So that's a little unusual, or not unusual, but that happens at this time of year. With regard to the ARPA appropriations, we are very quickly whittling down our appropriation. We have spent 1.5 million, almost 1.6 million of our 2.9. We have 441,000 left to be spent. We finished up the project at Saybrook Senior Housing. And we've made some payments on Beaver Dam Trail Culvert. That's gonna be done very soon. And the Acton Public Library generator is also gonna be done pretty soon, but they're, as of this reporting date, they still had balances outstanding. So, on page 2,
Thank,
Yes.
of
of course,
Carl, at the last meeting, we noticed on, cemetery that you were gonna get in touch with them.
Yes, and I did with, Torrance. And, he's on it. The guy had to order a bunch of supplies and he's going to be doing the work. I don't think it's gonna be this fall. I think it's gonna be in 26.
Okay.
I can probably find that email, but yes, he did follow up with me. That's all good, on track. I didn't forget about it.
Thank you very much.
and the flail mower, which is the other 130,000 for DPW equipment, I did check with Bill Claffey, and that's scheduled to come in hopefully before December this year, maybe in November. So that's the other large ticket item that should be expended.
Okay. Eric, did you have a question?
That's a really quick question about the generator at the library. Is that generator gonna be reused when they remodel?
Yes. That's a permanent.
Okay.
Yes,
But it's gonna be able to accommodate the remodel?
yes,
Okay.
May I address Bruce's
they
question?
did ask that.
This is from Torrance Downs, our restorationist has been working through the summer, less during the hottest times. I've asked him about when he'll submit invoices. He'll submit one shortly. His work will be more concentrated in the next calendar year. So that's basically it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so during August, we spent 534,000 in ARPA expenditures, to bring that total up to 2.5 million spent. Moving down to cash flows, the general fund was down $2.2 million. Again, expenses actually typically, as you know, they run about $3 million a month. They were $5.3 million, and that's because of the debt service, so they were extra high. Given that, and we took in revenues of $3 million to offset that, so the general fund down 2.3 million. Capital funds were down 429 million. Again, we've started to pay on Beaver Dam Trail. Was the majority of that expense there. For reserve funds, we spent 264,000. We made our annual payment for our fire truck, so that accounted for a large piece of that. And also we, for the capital non-recurring appropriations that we've made so far this fiscal year, that those came out, which would be the 15.6 for the new floor and the 21.5 for the Cape. Those were monies removed to the appropriate places. Non-major funds, again, typical, the youth and family services budget and paying for our pension payments was the majority of those moves of minus 232,000. Capital outlays is next. Again, we didn't really have any major movements in our capital. These are the things that we outline that occur from our budget for fiscal year 26 that we keep track of. So the fire department apparatus did go down. That's because we made the payment on the fire truck. And also I actually made a mistake on this part. Under 3 up from the bottom, the building official vehicle. It says the balance is 38,449. Actually, that's what we spent for the car. There's 10,471 remaining. And he received a quote for 49,345 during the budget period. But when it came down to purchasing the vehicle, he purchased a different model, got a better deal, and so we saved $10,000. And then under the town pension plan, just a comment, those payments have already been made. It says pension reserve amount 312,000. Well, at the meeting that we held, the town meeting on the 9th, they did approve the long-term liability fund. So I'm going to change that from pension reserve to long-term liability. We also transferred some monies in there. So we have just over $504,000 in our new long-term liability account that will be reflected in next month's report. On the last page, there's really nothing major, excuse me, that's going on here. Sometimes earlier in the year, we're affected by quarterly and annual payments. And so, as I mentioned, employer-defined contribution is 100% paid. In the middle of the, first page is the fire department, which says that they spent 60% of their budget. That's also because we've made their $270,000 pension contribution.
Mm.
So I put them up there. Youth and family, 100%, we transferred the whole budget to their off-budget fund. And of course, the capital outlays are at 98.9%. Usually that's at 100%, but because we didn't spend that $10,000, it's gonna remain there all year long. And, I'm gonna stop there. I do have comments on the marine outside service funding mechanism, but I'll see if anybody has any questions on that.
Questions on the finance director's report? Seeing none, we will take moving.
So you received a memo on a request from the acting chief and, as approved by the police commission, they would like the Board of Finance to create a new funding mechanism for outside services as it relates to the boat. The company that's building, you probably might have to help me here, it's building the bridge is O&G Construction, and they are required to hire the boat when we work on projects that are over 100 feet in the air. And so it's going to be a 7+ year project. And their request is to take all the money that comes in for the usage of the boat, not the salaries, but just the boat, $175 per hour, put it into a dedicated fund so that they can ultimately use these monies to buy new engines, fix the boat, whatever the case may be. So it is a 7-year project, and so far, I asked, well, how much do you think that's gonna bring in? And, Acting Chief Walsh said that for September, they, have had 10 to 12 days, and they're expecting maybe $15,000 to $20,000 in September. It's gonna go on. Of course, it's not gonna, I don't know if they're gonna go on all year round if they can do it in the winter, but that's just me.
It's basically to keep zero wake while there are cranes in the air.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they just wanna make sure people are going through there at a very manageable speed for the guys who are working on the cranes or the people operating the cranes. That boat, that boat's what, 10 years old? That's that.
Actually 11.
11, okay, so these.
Yeah, I remember as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, John. So that boat has never been repowered yet. So I think the idea is that at some point it's going to be need to be repowered. And maybe, probably with some I think we have Yamaha engines on there. And we'll probably put the Yamahas on it again if the boat needs any upgrade. This is actually a bit of a nice thing. And, because engines will probably be what, 60, 70 grand, for that?
2 for 100.
What?
2 for 100. For 100,000 for 2.
I talked to somebody, didn't think it was gonna be that much, but maybe it is, but anyway.
For the fire department, it's 95.
We'll be able to defer the cost regardless,
Yeah.
and that's the idea.
So is that set for 7 years going forward?
I don't know that,
Or is that adjustable?
we don't know how often they're gonna need it or whatever, but while they need it, we'll take the money. There's no budget for this, there's really no revenue expectation, we're not sure where it's gonna go necessarily, but.
Well, let me ask Brad a question a different way. Is O&G contracting for this service?
Yes,
And so in that contract, is there an annual escalator to the $175?
is there an annual escalator over 175?
Right.
No, because that rate is set by the police commission. $175 is set by the police commission for the boat, the cost of the boat.
Yeah, but
They
did
could
they
raise
set it,
it though.
I mean, yeah, it's all right for a year, but it should be revisited in another year.
it will be what they charge it to be.
It's only for the boat, not for staff, correct?
It's only, yeah,
So
well, they're,
are we covering the cost of the overtime and the staff with this 175?
O and G pays for that.
yeah.
Separately?
Yeah, they pay for whatever we charge them for the staff, they pay for that. And we went, but that goes directly to the officers and the marine operators that run the boat. I mean, it's a push for us, we don't.
But that's not coming out of the, so when we're charging 175 an hour, if we're paying an additional $80 to $100 an hour to staff the boat, we're not netting $75 an hour.
We're getting reimbursed.
We're getting reimbursed for both pieces, the boat.
At
And the
175 an
The
hour
boat at
plus the
175.
staff,
Yes, correct,
in addition to,
right,
okay.
right. So if the staff is two people are making $50 an hour, it's more than that, but
That
that's
seems
100,
low.
so it would be $275.
Seems low.
175 an hour seems low. Commercial side is like 300 plus.
For what? 300 plus for what?
For a boat.
Call center, that was gonna be $500 an hour.
Um,
I think, I hope they revisit it every year.
yeah, look,
You should consult with
They're
them.
gonna be here for 8 years doing this.
yeah, maybe, maybe this board can make an inquiry of that board.
Right.
Um,
So this is exactly why I wanted this to come before us for a discussion tonight. To be able to raise these kinds of questions. If we have questions, then my suggestion is that we invite the
Yeah.
Chief and the Police Commission Chair or others to come in, be able to respond to what the questions are, and then we ultimately vote
yeah,
on it.
that's what we should be doing. I agree.
So I guess what we ought to do now is make sure any questions that we have, we've articulated them, George.
I'm just thinking, I know nothing about boats, but it feels like, there should be a standard price for wear and tear on a boat that's running. Right, because there's one for a car, for example.
Right, how did they get to the 175 and how
Right.
does it compare? And
Right, and you're quoting 300, so I'm not sure where the number two.
Well, they also have, I mean, the police department also has a set car rate, right, for private duty jobs.
Right,
So I'd be interested to know what that is like compared to this too,
that's $25 an hour
for the car.
for the car.
Is it?
Yeah.
That sounds low.
That's $200 a day.
So why don't?
Yeah.
Why don't we get them in?
Okay.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we, so.
But let's be helpful and be able to ask the questions when we invite them, so they're ready to answer them when they come in.
So, there's one glitch in that is, our acting chief is retiring. And he, I think October 3rd is his final day.
Hmm.
Yeah, so. I mean, I'll talk about this now. So Ryan, has, I mean, not to get into his personal life, but, he and his wife are moving to England. She's English. They bought a house over there. She's over there. She's not coming back. And, you know, she wants Ryan over there. So Ryan came in the other day and he was very blunt. He said, I've been holding on as long as I can. I was hoping the new chief would have started by now, but you know, the process we went through, it just didn't happen. The new chief will be starting right around then, right around October 1st. You know, we're getting all the test results in right now. Everything looks perfect. Guy's ready to come on. He is gonna meet with Ryan, just so you guys, I want everybody to know, he is going to meet with Brian Walsh to kind of get the lay of the land beforehand. Ryan's willing to meet with him. But they're not going to be really working together at the same time. So, but that doesn't mean we won't get answers
Right.
from, you know, I think Chubb Wilcox. We can even get one of the operators in, you know. So
New chief been appointed?
the new chief has been made a conditional offer. Conditioned on him passing polygraph, psychologicals, and also a contract, a proposed contract. has also been sent to the new chief today. That's been worked on basically by Chubb, our attorney, and myself, and police commission blessed it. And that has been sent off today. I anticipate that we will have a contract with the new chief this week executed, and that the new chief will be ready to start 2-3 weeks down the road. In the meantime, he will be coming in to meet with Ryan
And when will it be announced?
as soon as the contract is executed.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I remember, how many years ago? Maybe, 2016. That the Board of Finance, because of the hullabaloo around the contract, not 2016, probably 2014. Had, questions and passed an ordinance saying that any contract over 1 year. Had to be.
It's in the town charter.
Oh, it's in town charter, okay. Good.
So,
I didn't think we were that important.
Eric, do you know what the seatbelt charges for boat? How much?
A lot more. But it's slightly different, it's not apples to apples.
No, I just
Uh,
thought it'd be a good,
It's a great opportunity with that project happening for years to
Right.
build that account for sure.
so, look,
Let's go back to.
yeah, yeah, I will probably, well, since we'll probably have the chairman in at the next meeting, perhaps the chairman and myself will come in. We may ask for either ratification of a contract, or, I think it will be on the agenda, the new contract for the police chief. I don't wanna, look, I don't wanna say too much about it. I think it's better that we just go in there. I don't wanna spill the beans on stuff. I don't want stuff to get out there that there's rumor mills or anything like that. So why don't we will be bringing this to that, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because it will come to the Board of Finance at the next meeting and probably for action.
Okay, so they'll distribute it beforehand, if it's gonna be for action, we need a chance to see it before. the meeting.
Sure, no problem. And in addition to that, we can talk about the vote.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you, Cole.
Is, the police commission considering filling Ryan's position soon? Or they
Well,
haven't?
yeah,
got
we're
it?
When you say filling Ryan's position as lieutenant,
Yeah,
most certainly, but there's a lot of change over there, so I think it'll be with the new chief.
yeah, well, I would expect that they wouldn't do it till the
Yeah,
new chief
I'm
is
not-
on board, so he could have.
Do what
input.
they do. Of course, we're coming up on elections, so, there's a lot of moving parts everywhere. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Can I ask one question about what John said?
Sure,
Can you explain the town charter piece in the contract, what that
Yeah,
has to come to the Board of Finance?
personal service contracts for more than 1 year basically have to come before the Board of Finance.
After they're executed?
Now, I
That's
mean,
what I guess
so look.
is it for approval? Is it-
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm confused about, because.
I'll have to look at the language exactly, okay? I don't want that to be overly delayed either, though. I mean, we need to get a new chief on
Yeah.
board. So
you can always call a special meeting.
we always could call a special meeting, so let's. Let me take a look at the charter, and I'll get in touch with Bruce. I did just look at it the other day, and I forget exactly what it says.
Okay. So we were on the boat and, or on the use of the police boat. Asking questions that we may want the police commission to answer. Do we have any other questions at this point? All right.
I
So
think
it sounds
that-
like we have a
yeah.
plan.
The important question is, how did you come up with the figure?
Correct, very much so.
And is it a long-lasting figure, or can it be? How long is the contract? for?
Right. And I guess my only other question is, if it is in service to O and G, what happens when we need it for its original purpose? And do we have the ability, do they have the ability to leave to go someplace, or how is, you know, because O and G now has a crane with somebody 100 feet in the air?
I would think that would be the case, because like, I believe if like state troopers are doing road jobs on the highway, and there's some major incident, they're leaving the road job if they're needed, so I would suspect this would be the same, I would think.
Okay, so I think that's another question.
Be interesting to get the answer to that, though.
Okay, and then we're set there. Thank you very much, Leanne, appreciate it. We are to the selectmen's report. Oh, George?
Before we get to that, can I come back to the non-recurring capital fund?
Yes, you may.
So the total surplus was like 2.8 some million, right? And so what we put in there was just a surplus that is not appropriated money. So like the appropriate 1.5 million, for example, for the DPW garage, for example, right? If that gets approved by the town meeting, will that 1.5 million go to that same fund?
No, so when something is approved and we receive total sign off from it, we use that to move the monies to where they're going. So, you know, surplus isn't anywhere right now because it's just the end of the year and our
Right.
revenues were greater than our expenditures. So we will be moving that money around. Usually in the motions, it says what we're gonna do with it. It's gonna be transferred to this account or transferred to that account, or we're gonna make a refund, or, you know, whatever it says is what we do with it. And then, and Amy Jennings, who's the assistant, Jensen, who's the assistant finance director, and I have already talked about that, and she's already made the transfers.
I see. So there were like 13 other items, where we appropriated the 2.8 million. So all those would just go to various different funds besides 3350.
Correct.
Which was, I think,
This is the only one that goes to 3.5.
I see. Thank you. Right.
Yeah.
And you set up a separate fund for the DPW garage, correct?
Yes,
Right, so the 1.5, once it was approved by the town, now gets deposited into that fund.
Then when that garage is finished, that fund would just
we closed.
be.
Okay, Carl?
Multi-year employment and personal service contracts. No officer, board, or commission shall enter into any employment or personal service contract, written or oral, which extends for a period of more than 1 year unless the following has occurred. Section B of that section says that the monetary obligation of such contract shall have been reviewed and approved by the Board of Finance for inclusion in the applicable town general government budgets for the term of the contract. So you're not blessing the contract, you're saying that the monetary obligation will be met in the contract for as long as it goes. That's what the charter says.
Is that compulsory language that we, I mean, what's the purpose of having it come before the board? If,
You have to approve it.
so what happens if you don't, you still have the right not to approve it?
Right, the
We
Board
do.
of Finance has the ability to reject the monetary obligation.
Okay.
They could sign a contract, but unless we approve it, they don't have the money to pay for it.
Yeah, I guess that's probably.
Shall have been reviewed and approved. So,
Okay.
So Carl, as you think that through.
yeah,
If we need a special meeting, then we'll put one together.
yeah.
Because I agree, we need to keep this moving forward. And we don't meet again until the 7th of October.
Right.
So,
So that's a new one on me. So how many people in the town government will, did that incur
Have multi-year contracts.
besides the police chief?
Do we have any?
Regardless, a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
I mean, like the bill that we have.
No, that's collective bargaining. This has nothing to do with collective bargaining. This is non-union. And-
That will.
And I can't think of another. That has more than 1 year.
So the police chief is not part of the union?
No. No, management, I mean, it's,
He gets.
It also says it doesn't apply to the Board of Ed
right,
in section C.
right,
So if there's superintendent or something else, it doesn't apply.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
alright. So, Leanne mentioned earlier Beaver Dam Trail, you know, I don't know if any of you have driven up there, I tend to go up there and check it out. It's beautiful. They really mostly finished it, the end of last week. Some minor punch list items, that job went really, really well. The town end of it, as you saw, is about 600,000. We received a check from the state for over $800,000. Because the state is also paying 50% of all our soft costs on that project, not only our construction costs. So when all the bills come in, we're gonna figure it out. But we've received our state check, which is great. Whether we end up returning some of it or not, it might be, they're going off obviously an estimate of 1.7, but we've spent quite a bit on engineering. I wanna say between 150, about 150 to 175,000. So they'll be paying half of that, so it's a good thing. But that project is mostly done. The punch list is like, you know, just some landscaping basically, so it came together really quickly, last week. And in the category, if you can't make everybody happy, there was one homeowner who's, not completely satisfied, but we will work on that. So the crosswalks that have been coming forever, they are submitting their work orders for approval. I do anticipate that work will get done this fall, and I anticipate it will start any day now. So the parking, and remember, we put money aside for some of the parking spaces there, and we're gonna pave them all, but we're not doing that until we get the crosswalks in. So I'm guessing that some of that paving may not get done until next year, even if the crosswalks do get done this year. I think I've updated you on the chief. I think you're good with that. Chalker's Mill Pond Dam project is also nearing a conclusion, mostly done. There are still some things that need to be done. Acton Public Library, give you an update on that. We had the comedy show that was very successful. I was able to solicit a donation for $25,000, an anonymous donation that was matched by, I think Marianne, I don't know if she wants her name said, so I don't wanna say names, but very nicely it was matched, so that event netted 70 grand for the library. It was a heck of an event. They have, this is where the library is. They have $1.7 million in non-municipal funds raised to date in the bank. They have a $2 million state grant guaranteed to them. They have $750,000 in town funds. So they're at about $4.5 million. I solicited a potential large donor. And I don't even know if that donor is gonna be public, but that donor's agreed to a $500,000 contribution. So they're at 5 million. So I think we're gonna green light this project.
Great.
So no bonding, $5 million project. I still find it hard to believe it's a $5 million project because the footprint stays the same, but we're gonna find out. So I think once we confirm that this last donation is good, and I know it's good, but once I sent an email out yesterday, and once I get confirmation of that, then I think we're just gonna green light for construction documents and move forward on this project. In the meantime, the library foundation has received their 501c3 designation from the IRS just last week. So they intend to continue to raise money, not the Friends, but a new 501c3 foundation for the library. They intend to continue to raise funds for any contingency or anything like that. And I think what you're gonna see there is there's gonna be a car raffle, similar to what the church does, and a few other events. So they're gonna continue their fundraising to hope to get to from 1.7 to approximately 2 million. That's the update on the library. Questions on that? Yeah, oh, wow, questions everywhere. Megan first. Ladies first. I'm sorry.
Discrimination, go ahead.
So, I don't remember talking about a timeline, and I'm assuming parts of the library will remain open during construction. Do
They
you
will.
know anything once it gets started, how long this project could take?
No,
Okay.
and we'll have to get Amanda in to, maybe even architects in to kind of talk about a timeline, and the library most certainly will remain open.
Did the Tucker Foundation contribute?
Yes, so the original Tucker funds are 1.2 of that 1.7.
Okay.
Yeah, so they haven't raised in the last 2 years 1.7, but they're using those old Tucker funds. The Grass family, are the descendants of the Tucker family, did make a $50,000 matching gift, and they were able to match that. So they continued to give to this project. Yes,
I hate to ask this question, but they formed a 501c3.
they did.
What role does this board have in approving their spending of that money?
Probably very little.
Well, I guess the question is, what money goes into that? Is any public money going into the 501c?
Right.
So,
But they're a town
It's a
agency.
town agency. So I'll tell you what, why don't we again, at some point, that's brand new.
Mhm.
So why don't we again talk to Amanda, maybe we want to talk to the members of that foundation. And kind of introduce them to the Board of Finance. Okay? Why don't we do that?
right, maybe we suggest a member of the Board of Finance be on the
Right.
foundation board. Just as a communication tool or something like that. Okay,
All right,
what else you got?
but let's not forget that, that's a good thought. To make sure that the foundation and the board work
Are on
together,
the same
or,
page, yeah.
yeah, or a member of this board is on that. Just so I don't know if you guys know, what Youth and Family Services is having an open house this week. I think, when is it?
Friday.
Friday. They're doing 2 different hours of, they're doing one in the morning,
11:30.
what is this? Is it Friday?
I think it's Friday.
No, it's is it?
Yeah, it's Friday.
Whatever,
Is it
okay.
Friday?
No, it's Thursday.
Thursday.
So they're doing 11 AM open house and then again at 4:30. Encourage you all to go. Heather's very proud of it. This is kind of leading up to their 50th anniversary celebration. I've talked in the past a lot about firefighter cancer presumption and how we've tried to structure something so that firefighters are able to get the medical care they need. The fight was that there were bills proposed at the state level that if a firefighter got, and it's something like 13 to 15 different types of every type of cancer you can basically think of. It was presumed, this was the proposed legislation, it was presumed that was a work-related injury. And it would go into workers' compensation. So the fear from town municipal side was, if you start putting a presumption of cancer into workers' comp rates are gonna just skyrocket. So we were able to, over the last really 5 years, legislatively fight that off. And we finally come to a solution which was implemented in the last legislative session, where there's a 5-cent charge on everybody's cell phone bill. And that is projected to raise about $3 million a year. Right now, that fund has $8 million in it, because the state did make a one-time deposit last year of about 5 million. So the fund has about $8 million, and the idea of that fund is to pay workers for the time, if you're a career firefighter, pay you for the time you've missed from work, and also cover any uncovered medical costs. So if you have health insurance, that will now provide your cancer treatment, and this fund will provide everything else. So it's going to be much better. And it is just starting. I continue to be on the advisory committee statewide. We're meeting quarterly. We had our first meeting yesterday. And, but that fund is in a really good place, and I think we have a very good solution for firefighters going forward as, and you know, it's statistically documented that career firefighters and even volunteer firefighters are eligible for this too. That they do have cancer occurrences more than the general populace. So any questions on that? But I have talked about that in the past, and I thought I'd kind of close the loop on that, so we probably don't have to talk about that much anymore. Jennifer and I are meeting, we play whack-a-mole with landscaping all over town. We're gonna meet with a couple landscapers to kind of come up with a plan for the chamber building, town hall, and across the street, Main Street Connection Park, and the library. Because our landscaping bills, we wait until the weeds grow like crazy, and then we bring in Freddie, or we bring in the town crew, and when we bring in a private contractor, it gets very expensive. So we're talking about maybe an overall landscaping plan for those 4 properties, seeing what we spend on those properties to keep them the way they are, consulting with professional landscapers, people who design gardens, to see how we can best plant sustainably and to keep weeds maybe from growing like crazy. If you go across the street, it looks good for about a week or 2 after Freddie does it, and then it just is a mess. And it looks like, doesn't look very good for 2 months until we have Freddie Castro come back. So we're meeting with someone on Thursday or Friday to talk about kind of a townwide plan and then budget appropriation for it. Just an idea. I'm not saying we'll end up doing it, but it's kind of important because these are our town, this is what we want to show off in the town.
Did they ever put down preen?
I don't know what they're putting, I put down preen in my house,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we're doing that. Police IT, so Mike Gardner is also retiring, and he's done the police information technology for 20 years. So we just solicited 3 bids from companies, and we're gonna have a new IT company that is going to be the 24/7 IT for the police department. No longer in-house with Mike Gardner, it's going to be a company called JKS. They do other things for the police department.
About
They
the
don't-
school,
What?
pardon me, how about the school?
I don't know what the school's gonna do. I don't know if he's retiring from the school. I know he's retiring from the police department. I don't think he's retiring from over there. So, Mike is helping the transition in September. And I don't think he'll be there as of October, and we'll have new IT at the police department. Been working on that for basically 2 months with Ryan Walsh. And lastly, I have,
Before you move on,
I'm sorry,
how does that person then coordinate with Larry?
I didn't
How
understand.
does that person coordinate with Larry?
Not very much. They really didn't talk that much.
Okay.
Between the police department and town hall IT, and maybe it's an opportunity again. To either get backup coverage, maybe we can grab them sometime and kind of have them look, that's not even a bad idea to. Maybe see what's going on over here, because it may, there's gonna come a time when there's gonna be a transition in town hall too. So now that there's an outside service company, it might be an opportunity to introduce them to town hall.
Is there a price difference? I mean, there are
about 20,000.
3,000 savings?
No, in addition. Yeah. About 20,000 more in IT. Which I actually was relatively happy with because I wasn't sure what the numbers would be. With regard to the Department of Public Works, I've greenlighted an architectural firm to start looking at a design. We looked at a design build option and those numbers just came back at a big number. So I actually engaged Greg Nucci at point one. Greg's a citizen in town. He's done a bunch of municipal projects. This is not a complicated project. And in fact, we sat down the other day with Tom Makowicki and we figured out a way where we would not have to sprinkler the new addition. And Tom looked at me and goes, that's about $1 million. So Greg's gonna take a look at that and get back to us, so. That's all I have.
All right, questions for the first selectman?
George.
So go back to the IT position, right? So I mean, I don't know what, I mean, you said it's gonna cost $20,000 more, but I don't know what Mike Gardner
It's
is.
about 60,
So it's about
80
yes,
80 grand.
So that terms.
for 24/7.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
But and so we'll just write that. I mean, right now our budget is.
it's probably gonna be it's gonna be an overrun.
Would that be part of the police budget?
It will be.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There's just a lot of change over
No,
there.
I get it. No,
A lot,
yeah,
you know,
but it still seems very reasonable.
yeah, I think it was. We solicited. So JKS, there were two others, one of them, I called the town manager in Clinton and. So to see who she was using or their department is using. There's also another company that does a lot of stuff for the police department. We wanted to see if they were interested. And the numbers were actually relatively close. We went with a group that we're very comfortable with and can do the work. And so Mike is meeting with them right now this month, so Mike is still being paid and we have this company coming on. So there is gonna be a cost overrun in IT this year in the police budget.
Okay, other questions? George?
So I mean, I think I like the idea of basically see if we can. You know, combine that into the town's IT needs, right? I mean, in looking down the future, right? I mean, right now, Larry still serves the needs very well, but at some point it will be a transition. So look into that, right? So.
I will, I'll pursue that.
Yeah, because I mean, there may be some benefit in expanded work.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. We also have Star Computers, so we have a firm that we consult with. And is a bit of Larry's backup, and they're called Star, they've been with the town for 20 years. So, but. It doesn't hurt to involve another party, I think, and just introduce them to town hall and say, this is what we have going on here too, so.
Sorry, I mean, like the last time last meeting, right, we were delayed 20 minutes because we couldn't set the thing up, right? So it's just, seems very minor, right? But it's just, whether we do it, whether we can call it in person if Larry was not around. I mean, obviously Larry was around, but if no, Larry was not around, who could have called?
Right. Right.
Okey-dokey. Moving on, comments from board members. Any comments? No? No comments? We'll move to public comment. We do have an ND. If you would like to comment, please raise your hand. And raise, so we will continue to move. Comments from the chair, no comments. We have two meetings in October, and I think they're all on the right date, so we will plan to keep them on the 7th and the 21st. So we will set. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Need a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?